of all the NBA business and we look at all the movements that's happening in the NBA when we talk about where is Russell Westbrook going to go. Another heartbreaking loss yesterday with the Milwaukee Bucks makes people think that it's totally over and the time has come to move Mr. Westbrook to another team. I've been saying it a million times. There's one team that came to mind immediately that could be trade bait for this squad, and for me, that squad happened to be, yes sir, the Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard because he would be a perfect fit for what they need. But if worse comes to worse, and that happens to not work out, and you need another opportunity to try and make some things happen, there's another team that has a guy that's also not playing, hasn't played for a while, but you can see him here. You know, the enigma, the high school drama queen, baby. The guy that was making it happen. Life's like a movie in high school. Yes, John Wall, the Wall of Wallers, one of my favorite point guards in the NBA, still to this day. How about Mr. John Wall, who's improved his jump shot? He's coming off Achilles, so he now has a much better mid-range game. I think this is an opportunity to go get him. And it'll be an easy trade on one part, on one side. Now, the question is, what do the Rockets do with Russell Westbrook? Do they move him? How do they get that salary off their books? Are they willing to take that salary? Well, they already got Wall, so it kind of makes sense. Hey, we're not using Wall. Can we use Russ? Can he be trade bait for a draft pick? What can be done? Because a lot of NBA teams are very, very much afraid of Mr. Russell Westbrook and what he brings to the table because he can mess up your growth. And I think that's why there may be trouble with the Portland Trailblazer trade because they say, okay, is he going to kill the development of our two guys? And I think he's in there. A lot of people not talking about him. They keep talking about Anthony Simons because I've been bigging him up forever. But I think Dennis Smith Jr. is also in that conversation. And how do you play those two? Right? They just got Eric Bledsoe. I think you need to drop Eric Bledsoe immediately. Why not a John Wall? And if you can muster, adding in an Eric Gordon to the Lakers squad, maybe for Avery Bradley. I think that makes total sense. And I think that's the move the Lakers need to make immediately. Rarely does it come a time that both teams are in the same situation where they would be both, I think, be open to a trade. This is one, right? This would be the Rockets doing the Lakers a favor. But I do think that it could benefit the Rockets as well. You know, some draft picks, you know, some of the lower run guys that aren't playing on Lakers, grab those guys up, see what they got from a oh my God, who is this? See what they got from a team perspective. I was trying to figure out who is drilling the hell out of the ball and killing these guys. But you know, legitimately, it makes sense. And what John Wall would provide outside of Russell would not. So people keep down Russell Westbrook, but there's a couple things he can bring to the table. Okay. The fact that Russell, okay, look at the shot here. Look at the shot. He's on now, guys. Wall has got his shot. Okay. Russell plays defense. Okay. Russell also look at Beasley. What a shame. What an offensive hero. You know, I'm going off topic. You know, I always do that. What a shame. What a shame. Use him offensively. I talked about him and going to Utah. Now, that being said, definitely, Wall brings a better jump shot. But Wall doesn't have the defense. I think that Russell Westbrook could have, and Wall doesn't bring that rebounding intensity because Russ is kind of like a power forward as well. He can rebound and do all those stuff like that. The problem is he's a turnover queen, right? And despite the good spurts that he has in the game, he still facilitates a lot of big mistakes that really can hurt a team up. And I think that's the issue with Mister Westbrook. So now with that said, I think that's the next move. You can't. It's the 10th. I think you got to immediately make that. I think we'll see that today. It's either Westbrook for Wall or some crazy trade with Lillard. The negotiations are still in process. I can tell. You know, the fact that Russ didn't play the fourth quarter was evident. So the moves on the works. It better be good. You know, and There's also one more team that I think could. Dummies out in New York. That they may make a move right for Kemba, and that's the only thing I can think of that could happen. To see some movement for Westbrook. What does it mean for the Lakers? To me, Lillard's out. Lillard's been out, been injured. I can see him saying, we need to win now. LeBron's here. I think Wall's the best immediate support, and Kemba definitely is another immediate support because he's playing, right? He's not injured. So the Knicks actually make the most sense because Kemba's is already sweating, right? He's already in the works. He's already played. And then you got Wall at the secondary, best option. I like Wall a lot the most, but from a player perspective, he's not wet yet, right? He's still playing open runs. And then we got Mister Damon Lillard. Could you wait for his return? How injured is he really? Is it one of these fake injuries because you know you're going to trade him? Those are all things that come into play. But if there was no injuries, it would be Lillard, and then it would be Wall, and then it would be Kemba. Let's see what happens next, guys. Amazing day. It is important. We'll see how they move, man. I'm gone. Step back.